Imagine a phantom force, small in stature, yet capable of unleashing disproportionate devastation across a tightly controlled landscape. Imagine a presence so inherently unpredictable, so fluid in its movements, that it can strike with equal venom from opposing directions, leaving behind a wake of confusion and strategic wreckage. Picture a storm, not of wind and rain, but of pure kinetic energy, a relentless tempest confined within human form, perpetually oscillating between cheerful enthusiasm and silent, calculated destruction. This isn't a figment of some shadowed nightmare. It's a living paradox, a smiling architect of chaos whose very existence on the field redefines the thresholds of athletic possibility and competitive dread. He represents a peculiar kind of terror, one wrapped in an infectious grin, making his destructive capabilities all the more unsettling because they feel so entirely unforced, so disarmingly natural. The threat manifests first in an impossible blur, a sudden, jarring displacement across the 90 feet between bases. OZZIE ALBIES isn't merely fast. He's an anachronism, a momentary glitch in the spatial fabric of the game, appearing where he shouldn't be, a fraction of a second before anyone expects him. His legs are pistons of predatory purpose, propelling him with a low center of gravity that defies the very friction of the earth, turning routine ground balls into infield singles that gnaw at a pitcher's psyche. On the base paths, he is a living, breathing anxiety attack, forcing errant throws, creating openings that didn't exist moments before, and constantly holding the entire defensive structure hostage to his whim. This relentless pressure isn't just strategic. It's psychological warfare, a continuous, draining assault on an opponent's composure, leaving them perpetually on edge, bracing for the inevitable, yet always unexpected strike. His speed isn't just a tool. It's a weapon of destabilization, a constant, buzzing threat that permeates every moment he breathes life onto the diamond. Then there's the bat, held with an unsettling ambidexterity, a harbinger of indiscriminate destruction capable of launching missiles from either side of the plate. He doesn't just switch hit. He embodies a dualistic entity, a two-headed hydra of power and precision, mirroring a pitch's trajectory and transforming it into a violent outbound trajectory. This isn't just versatility. It's a strategic nightmare, forcing pitchers to abandon their comfortable grooves and confront a mutable target that dictates the terms of engagement, eroding their confidence with every unexpected crack of the bat. His power isn't merely surprising for his size. It's an unsettling reminder that true force doesn't always conform to physical expectations, that devastating impact can emanate from the most unlikely sources, leaving colossal dents in scoreboards and even larger ones in the hearts of opposing teams. The insidious nature of his ascent began long before the lights of the big leagues, a silent whisper in the baseball wilderness. He emerged from the obscurity of Curacao, a murmur of raw, unrefined potential, signing for a mere $350,000 at age 16, a price that grotesquely undervalued the seismic force he was destined to unleash. This initial underestimation, this quiet entry onto the global stage, only amplified the eventual shockwave of his impact, making his rise feel less like a gradual development and more like a sudden, cataclysmic revelation. Teams that passed over him, scouts who dismissed his stature, all unknowingly contributed to the forging of a weapon that would defy their projections and shatter their conventional wisdom. His trajectory wasn't just fast. It was alarmingly accelerated, a meteoric climb that seemed to mock the established timelines of player development, leaving a trail of disbelief and second-guessing in its wake. The very speed of his progression, from raw prospect to undeniable star, felt less like achievement and more like an ominous, unstoppable inevitability, a preordained unfolding of an unsettling destiny. He was a tremor, overlooked and misunderstood, until the moment he began to shake the very foundations of the game, a force waiting to erupt, its true destructive potential meticulously veiled until the optimal moment of maximum impact. This rapidly accelerating force soon began to redraw the statistical landscape, pushing boundaries previously considered sacrosanct for players of his profile. Before his 21st birthday, he became one of the select few players in MLB history to record 40 extra base hits in a single season while primarily playing second base, a statistical anomaly that defied conventional expectations for a player of his youth and physical stature. This wasn't merely a record. It was a deliberate, almost mocking defiance of established norms, a direct challenge to the pigeonholes baseball had created for its athletes. The numbers weren't just impressive. They were unsettling, signaling a player who refused to be constrained by traditional labels, a relentless innovator of destruction. His youthful exuberance on the field masked a cold, calculated efficiency, turning at-bats into statistical triumphs that left analysts scrambling to recalibrate their models and opponents struggling to comprehend the source of this unprecedented output. Every extra base hit wasn't just a gain for his team. It was a calculated blow against the perceived limitations of his position, an unsettling whisper that the game was changing, and he was the one orchestrating the terrifying evolution. The anxiety he provoked wasn't just about winning or losing. It was about the uncomfortable realization that the rules themselves were being rewritten before their very eyes by a smiling, seemingly innocuous youth. The true depth of his threat, however, resides in the sinister dance of his ambidexterity, a mastery of switch hitting with such innate fluidity that he frequently posts higher batting averages from his weaker side in crucial situations, a testament to a dualistic threat that confounds even the most seasoned pitching strategists. This isn't just an advantage. It's a psychological torment, a relentless game of chess where your opponent perpetually changes the rules mid-move, leaving you paralyzed by indecision. Facing him from the left, a pitcher might finally feel a glimmer of predictability, only for ALBIES to transform into a right-handed menace, wielding his bat with an unexpected ferocity, shattering any semblance of comfort. This tactical chameleon doesn't just adapt. He weaponizes his adaptability, turning perceived weaknesses into amplified strengths, creating an inescapable trap for anyone daring to challenge him. The unnerving aspect isn't just his capability, but the ease with which he shifts personas, moving from one side of the plate to the other, as if shedding skin, each transformation more lethal than the last. He dissects scouting reports, not just to find weaknesses, but to exploit the very idea of predictability, turning a pitcher's best-laid plans into a chaotic scramble. The fear isn't just that he'll get a hit. It's the dawning, awful understanding that you can never truly prepare for him, that any strategy you devise will always be one step behind his fluid, ever-changing attack. This is the heart of his unsettling brilliance, the ability to become the very thing you least expect, delivering devastating blows from positions of assumed vulnerability. His constant smile, a stark contrast to the internal turmoil he ignites in his adversaries, only intensifies this dread, making his destructive acts feel almost like a playful, yet utterly merciless, game. The true climax of this unsettling narrative isn't found in a single home run or a specific stolen base. It's in the cumulative effect, the slow, creeping realization that the very integrity of the game, as you understand it, is under siege. It's the moment when the opposing team, after an entire series, begins to see his infectious, boundless energy not as charming, but as a relentless, almost predatory force. His perpetual grin ceases to be endearing and becomes a chilling mask of impending doom, signaling the next impossible play, the next unexpected burst of power, the next strategic unraveling. The fear isn't just about his individual talent. It's the systemic breakdown he induces, the way his presence makes other players around him feel invulnerable, infecting them with his audacious confidence, turning a single threat into a widespread contagion of competitive spirit. Imagine the profound anxiety of watching him round the bases after a crucial home run, his arms spread wide, a jubilant scream tearing through the air, and realizing that this unbridled joy is, in fact, a declaration of your utter defeat, a cheerful confirmation that he has once again outmaneuvered, outpowered, and ultimately outwilled you. This isn't just a player. He is a harbinger of a new, unsettling era, where rules bend, expectations shatter, and an athlete's mere presence can distort the reality of competition. The most terrifying aspect isn't his power or his speed, but the relentless, unwavering belief in his own disruptive potential, a self-fulfilling prophecy of chaos that leaves nothing but dread in its wake. He laughs, he smiles, he radiates positivity, and with every beaming moment, he plunges his adversaries deeper into a suffocating vortex of strategic despair, making his very delight your profoundest terror. So, return to that imagined scenario, the Phantom Force, small yet overwhelmingly devastating, striking from both sides, leaving confusion and wreckage in its wake. Now, understand that it wasn't a phantom at all, but a living, breathing entity whose cheerful demeanor cloaks a precision-guided capacity for dismantling the familiar. Every step, every swing, every infectious smile is a calculated move in an ongoing, high-stakes psychological game. Are you truly prepared for a future where such benevolent destruction becomes the norm? Where the most unsettling threats arrive with a disarming smile and an unbreakable spirit, leaving you to wonder what other hidden forces lurk beneath the surface of the game, waiting for their moment to strike?